members. We have before us now the Metro Action Commission. Ms. Cynthia Kroom, the Executive Director, is here with us, along with Dr. Lavania Steele, the Board Chair, and Ms. Melissa Weaver, her Chief Financial Officer. And before you begin your presentation, Ms. Kroom, are you satisfied with the Mayor's proposal for your department?
I'd like to say that we are appreciative and grateful for the fact that we did not receive a 2% increase. We do have a caveat, however, to our being thankful for the way the budget is presented, and I'll speak to that a little bit later because it's specific to the 1.5% increase for employees across the government. But we are pleased with the fact that we maintain a status quo budget. Thank you so much.
All right. You continue.
Thank you. If I could just add to the introductions, just a brief correction. Our board chair is Dr. Lavania Steele. Melissa Weaver, as you mentioned, is our new CFO. In addition, we have with us in the gallery the members of our leadership team, Marvin Cox, Camille Baker, Karen Crook, Cassandra Johnson, Pam Matthews, and Lisa McCready. So we're grateful to have them, and we're grateful to come before you, this body. And first of all, thank you for your ongoing support of this agency, for doing a great job of approving fantastic board members to our board. And we'd also like to use this opportunity before you to thank the incredible team of the Metropolitan Action Commission with over 360 staff strong. I'd like to present my budget to you by mentioning just a few things that it's important for you to note. I think you are aware of the multiple programs that we provide at the Metropolitan Action Commission, including adult education, Head Start, and Early Head Start for over 1,500 children. We provide energy, rent, and mortgage assistance. We also provide college preparation and job assistance for the residents of Davidson County. We serve over 20,000 individuals in this county, and we're pleased to be able to do so. As you all know, we are largely federally funded. As a result of that, I'd like to talk a little bit about why this budget is so important and why the fact that we were left at a status quo budget is extremely valuable to us. You all have heard the word sequestration probably more than any of us would like to hear it. Our agency is one of the organizations that is greatly impacted by sequestration. As you all know, Head Start will experience a 5.27% decrease in its funding from the federal government. You will not see that reflected on your budget page because as we were waiting for information on sequestration, we had not received it prior to the budget being provided to you. I will share with you, however, that represents almost $576,000 being reduced from the Head Start program. As a result of that, the staff of the Head Start program will experience a 2% decrease in their salaries. This decision was made because the other option was to furlough our staff, meaning that they would be sent home without pay for a period of 30 days. In order to avoid that, there is a 2% reduction across the board in their pay. In addition to that, we have reduced the number of our contracts as well as a number of other ways that we have worked toward making sure that we meet that 5.27% reduction. That includes transferring a number of our Head Start staff that are year-round staff into other programs. Some of the Head Start bus drivers will be transferred to the summer food service program where they will serve as drivers in that program, allowing them to maintain employment year-round. I say that because it's important for this body to know that the organization and its team members have worked very hard in the midst of federal reductions to not reduce services to the people that we serve in Davidson County. At this point, there will be no reduction in the number of children served. We will still serve over 1,500 children in the Head Start program. And until we receive information specific to the energy program, there will be no immediate reduction in services to the citizens that we serve. I will say this final thing. The Metropolitan Action Commission receives $4 million from this government. As a result of that, we are able to leverage $24 million in federal funds. So a $4 million investment results in a $24 million worth of federal funds that are brought into the city. As a result of that, we want to remind this body and encourage you to assure that the Metropolitan Action Commission staff are included in the 1.5% budget increase to the employees of the metropolitan government. That's extremely critical because not only are they experiencing a reduction in their salaries on the federal side, but these are employees of this government. And I know that it will show them or demonstrate to them your appreciation for their hard work for Nashville's most vulnerable citizens by recognizing the importance of making sure that they are included in any increase that's an across-the-board increase to the staff of metropolitan government. At this time, I know I've spoken longer than I normally do, but I think it's critically important as you receive reports from us from your district and can see the numbers of families and individuals that we serve, you know and understand how critical the work of this team is and how critically important it is that this government recognizes their value in the same way it recognizes the value of all staff of this government. I will take your questions at this time.
Thank you, Ms. Kroom. Council Lady Moore.
Thank you, Chair and Ms. Kroom. And I always, whenever I see, Mr. Marvin somewhere, I have to, say what a good job that he's doing, and the rest of your staff. Not to say everybody do a good job, but I was looking at some of your. I was wondering about the NASA program, the NASA grant reduction. Is that something we need to put back in, or something that's federally funded, or because it talks about after-school meals, and I was just wondering, was that funded?
Thank you for that question. The way the NASA grant works is the same way that our food program grant works. It runs over fiscal years. And so the reduction is so that the dollar amount is reflected of what we've already been funded for the upcoming fiscal year. The grant is not due for that program until September. And so that's why it appears to be a reduction, but it is in fact not.
Okay. Thank you for clearing that up. And I know that you depend upon heavily from the federal government. I've been there when you had to go through some changes. And you said that at this point that I was looking at your strategic issues. I'm on page J32 in the budget book. And I was just wondering, you had put in here that there's some, about the poverty level, low-income working families, and certain target areas or services in certain locations. Do you have the data for that? Did you send us some data on that? I'm trying to remember.
One of the things that we do in our participation with the Poverty Initiative is we work with Metro Social Services and a number of other agencies to look at what the needs are, what the changes are in communities, in addition to the fact that just working with a variety of agencies, we have some sense of what the needs are in communities. So the same information that is shared with you is also shared with us, in addition to the surveys that we do of the people we serve.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Council Lady Moore. Councilman Claiborne.
I wasn't ready. Thank you, Ms. Kroom. On the page J35, I just noticed under other expenses that you've had a almost 7% reduction in other expenses, about $140,000. Could you give us an example of some of the things that those other expenses that you've been able to benefit from are?
One of the things, and I want to make sure I explain what the other expenses reduction means. When we experience an increase in our internal service fees, then there must be a decrease in other areas. So, for example, their charge to us in surplus property was decreased, security equipment was decreased, medical supply and office supply for administration for the Early Head Start program. There's also a line item that Metro decreases under procure card clearing decreases. So this is really a budget adjustment as we pay additional internal service fees.
Okay, so when IT went up, other things went down.
Had to come down.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Claiborne. Councilman Banks.
Ms. Kroom, very good to see you.
It's good to see you.
And I hope you're well. Dr. Still, Ms. Weaver, welcome. And Marvin, Lisa, it's good to see you all. Glad to see that Metro Action Commission's here in full force. Quick question about LIHEAP. I know that you were saying that there's uncertainty across the board with federal funding coming your way. Will that uncertainty take us through the winter months, or will it be a situation where you'll have a better understanding before the winter months get here, and that money is important?
We hope to have a better understanding as the winter months arrive. I will say this, that we have actually expended all of our LAHEAP money for this year. What we did, however, was the Community Services Block Grant Fund. You all approved an additional appropriation that we received, and so we actually are paying some of the energy assistance out of Community Services Block Grant. So LAHEAP, we actually have run out of money, but because of that additional appropriation for a different set of funding, the state gave us permission to continue to serve the individuals who would normally need LAHEAP services. So because we've already run out for the current year, we know that for the next year that even if we stayed at status quo funding, that we don't have enough for LAHEAP, but the hope is that we'll be able to use other resources, both local and other partnerships, to minimize that impact, not that it would alleviate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Banks. Seeing no other council members in queue, I'd like to thank you all for your service to the city, and this concludes your department's budget hearing. Thank you.
Thank you all.